Christmas Eve. A girl receiving presents beneath a sparkling tree. What she receives is an ugly Nutcracker doll. That night, as the clock strikes midnight, the doll comes to life, a mouse army appears, and the girl collapses, bleeding. The Nutcracker story, is actually less than half of the original. In fact, all the most important parts have been removed. What I'm going to tell you today is the original story written by E.T.A. Hoffmann in 1816. Not a warm Christmas tale, but a macabre psychological fantasy. The story begins on Christmas Eve, with the Stahlbaum family's children, Marie and Fritz. A lavish party is underway, and the children receive their presents. Amongst them is one particularly special gift, from their godfather, the inventor Drosselmeyer. A Nutcracker doll. But this doll has an ugly face, large protruding teeth, and a rather pitiful expression. Brother Fritz treats the doll with contempt, handling it roughly, and eventually, its jaw breaks. Marie takes pity on the doll, carefully bandaging it and laying it beside her own bed. Night deepens. The clock strikes 12. Tick, tock, tick. At that moment, the drawing room suddenly begins to grow. The furniture moves, the toys come to life. And then, something crawls out from the cracks in the floor. The Mouse King, wearing 7 crowns. Small in stature, but a monster with 7 heads. It looks down at Marie mockingly. The Mouse King leads his mouse army, attacking the tin soldiers led by the Nutcracker. Battle commences. The clash of swords, soldiers falling. The Nutcracker fights bravely, but the tide is against him. The Mouse King draws closer, and the Nutcracker is on the verge of collapse. At that moment, Marie removes her glass slipper and hurls it at the Mouse King with all her might. And then, Marie collapses where she stands. The following morning, Marie lies in bed with a deep wound on her arm. Her parents say, "You bumped into the glass cabinet." It was just a dream. But Marie knows it wasn't a dream. To Marie, lying in her sickbed, Godfather Drosselmeyer comes and tells her a strange tale. The legend of the hard nut Krakatuk. Once upon a time, in a kingdom, there was a princess. But through the curse of the Mouse Queen Musorgskij, the princess was transformed into something monstrous. There was only one way to break this curse: crack a very hard nut called Krakatuk, then walk 7 steps straight ahead with eyes closed. A young man, the king's nephew, took on this trial. He succeeded in cracking the nut. 1, 2, 3. He made it to the 6th step. But on the 7th and final step, he stumbled and opened his eyes. The princess returned to her original form, but the young man was transformed into an ugly Nutcracker doll. Drosselmeyer tells Marie, that young man is the very Nutcracker you've been caring for. And the Mouse King, who has now appeared, is the son of the Mouse Queen who cast that curse. From that night onwards, the Mouse King comes to Marie every evening, crawling out from beneath the bed. "Unless you bring me sweets, I shall tear your Nutcracker to shreds." Marie, trembling with fear, secretly offers up her sweets. The next night, her toys. The night after, something else. The Mouse King continues to demand. Marie grows increasingly exhausted. The adults around her treat her as a sick child, and no one believes what she says. At last, the final night arrives. The ultimate confrontation between the Nutcracker and the Mouse King. This time, Marie doesn't run away. Battle ensues, swords clashing. And finally, the Nutcracker's sword pierces the Mouse King's chest. The 7 heads fall one by one, and the Mouse King is utterly defeated. The Nutcracker picks up the 7 crowns and presents them to Marie. At that moment, light spreads, and the Nutcracker's form begins to change. The ugly doll's appearance fades, and the form of a young prince emerges. The prince tells Marie, "Because you believed in me, I was able to return to human form." Marie gradually recovers in the real world. But she has changed. One day, before her parents, Maurice states clearly, "I shall marry the Nutcracker prince." Her parents laugh it off, but godfather Drosselmeyer remains meaningfully silent. And sometime later, Marie truly departs for that prince's world, to the kingdom of dolls. Whether it was a dream or reality, the story never tells us. Right. What did you make of that story? Rather different from the Nutcracker story you know, isn't it? Quite unlike the warm, beautiful tale you've seen in ballet performances or Christmas animations. So now, let's examine exactly what was different. First difference. In the Nutcracker, you know what sort of person is Drosselmeyer. Most of you will remember him like this. A kind godfather. An amusing old gentleman who performs magic tricks. But the Drosselmeyer in the original is entirely different. In the original, he is a figure with one missing eye and a macabre appearance, an inventor obsessively creating mechanical dolls, someone who treats children rather like experimental subjects. The gifts he gives inspire unease rather than joy. Moving automata, unpredictable devices, and the cursed Nutcracker doll. In the ballet version, all this discomfort is removed, and he's transformed into a magical Christmas benefactor. Why? Because it's too unsettling to show children. Second difference. In ballets and animations, how is the Mouse King portrayed? Generally as rather a cute villain, but the Mouse King in the original is a monster with 7 heads. He crawls out from beneath the bed every night and threatens in human language. "I shall destroy your dolls. I shall wreck everything you hold dear." This isn't simply a battle, it's psychological terror. And the most frightening part here is Marie must keep giving in, offering up sweets, surrendering toys, handing over the things she treasures one by one. This is exploitation, extortion. But in later adaptations, all these scenes are removed or drastically reduced because they don't suit a Christmas tale. The third difference is even more chilling. In most adapted versions, the story is clearly presented as a dream. The girl wakes up at the end and it concludes with, "Oh, it was just a dream." But the original never confirms this. In the original, Marie is genuinely injured. Things are actually broken the next day. Drosselmeyer knows the legend in far too much detail. At the end, Marie truly departs for that world, whether this is dream or reality. The original never tells us. That's why this story isn't a fantasy, but rather a psychological drama, wrestling with the line between reality and illusion. The final difference. The ballet's ending is beautiful. The curse is lifted, the prince appears, they depart for a fantasy kingdom. A happy ending. But the original's ending can be read entirely differently. In the original, Marie becomes increasingly drawn to the fantasy world over reality, is treated by adults as a sick child, ultimately chooses that world and doesn't return. Is this a happy ending? Or is it the story of a child who dropped out of reality and escaped to another world? Hoffmann doesn't answer this question. That's why this story can be read as both salvation and loss. So why do we know such a different version? In 1892, when Tchaikovsky turned this story into a ballet, much was altered. Drosselmeyer's sinister nature, deleted. The Mouse King's terror, changed to a cute villain. Marie's choice, replaced with a clear, happy ending, because Christmas season ballet performances required a warm and beautiful story. Hoffmann's original was too unsettling, too ambiguous. E.T.A. Hoffmann didn't want to write a warm Christmas tale. He was asking these questions. Where is the boundary between fantasy and reality? Who are these adults who refuse to believe a child's experience? Is departing for another world salvation or escape? This story isn't a tale of waking from a dream, but perhaps the story of a child who fled from reality. What did you think of today's story? Even with just the Nutcracker, there was such a different tale hidden within, wasn't there? In the next video, which other fairy tales originals shall we explore? If there's a tale you'd like to hear about, please leave a comment. Subscribing and liking would mean a great deal. See you in the next story then.